This is Gerald Johan van Assen, the educational channel that is in support of the Sound Informed book, and this book has a theory which is also described separately in the development of the word. You have some extras in the application of the word. The book is about the significance of the letter combinations in words. It proves that the words as letter combinations can be understood, that there is a driving system behind it, and the system itself, even just the schemes themselves, can already guide you simply to discover what is in the words. The words are not just random letter combinations, they have really a natural tendency of going to the direction as it should. In this video, just one word, hop. Why did I do that? Because I saw the bird hop, and I'm quite quickly in realizing like how a word, how the letter combinations are and how they fit with the words. But with the hop bird, I didn't see it. So okay, then I always make a challenge if I encounter something which isn't obvious. So I decided to investigate why, and this is the next word, hop. Hop. There are two kinds of hops. Here's the full investigation. You have the hop bird, which in English it's the hopoo, and you have of course the hop plant, which also is called the hops. Is maybe in English how it is used more often. When I investigated, I said, okay, let's just try the scheme again that I used before and check what it is about. So I already said there are three guiding lines in placing a word with its letters into a certain direction in time and space, and because the letters fit with the levels of complication that fit into this scheme, because the complications increase, so you can have the first elements are just reference points in space, in a geometrical space. If it's more complicated, if you have more complicated situations, okay, yeah, then you need time. So there are some time delays that are there. If it's even more complicated, and then I'm not going to explain the whole picture of how these complications increase and how you come to the other letters and what they all mean. But you have three difficulties, three parts of difficulties. You even have them into dimensional spaces, but that's even more difficult. I will not explain that here. So after the spatial references are not easy enough. I mean, so the situation is more difficult, that you can't form something into the three-dimensional space immediately. You need time, because you need time to develop. You need time before it can develop. If this is even not enough, that it is not developed simply over time, it needs new elements, and these new elements, they come to you via a feedback process. These are the three complication levels where the letters fit. So where does the word hop fit? It starts immediately in the feedback system. It means that you don't have it yet. So there's a question there, and you have to find it. You have to find what it is, and it's not immediately there how you need it. So you need this feedback process. The first letter is about that. The second letter is in the time frame, so it will look to create some time for it. And then the last letter is the P. In this time frame, you will have out of this process the results. So how do you read that then in a normal sentence? I will tell you just in a moment, but I will tell you more a bit about this feedback process. The second stage of the feedback process is actually not just a foundation of where I can find the feedback with Q, Q, V, and G, but the H and R are in fact already restoring the situation that you can't have in immediately. The H will restore the situation by looking into the spatial references, the 3D space. It will look for spatial references that are more ideal. It will change this ideal situation and have prepared with it a room, space where it can develop what it wants to develop. Just like the R is looking for time frames that will make it more easy to develop something. These is on the second level of the feedback in the difficulties of the process. The H will look for the best spatial reference frame where of formation. So that's the first letter. That it will do that in a certain time frame reference, and in that time, and then it can check what can be used to pop out of this process. This whole description fits in fact incredibly well with the hop plant, because the hop plant is not only physical as a very airy development of the plant, but it's also the way how we develop the plant. We try to have as optimal space as we can. The plants, you can see them already from a very long distance. You can see it is built up very much into the height, so you can have the maximum of expansion of this plant. That's one of the things that is already immediately visible, and that is what it says. The H is looking for the best spatial reference frame. It will do that on a time frame so that it can develop slowly, so that something can pop out in this airy form. These pop out bells of the hop are exactly well described with the word hop. And in a simple form, you can see that's the blue arrow. You have something that pops out of the air, and there you have the result of it. In the design, I developed it as slightly different. So I had the square of the spatial reference, and I went back in. I put it back. I put myself outside it to refocus on it. Did a pop-up there with the O and the P, and I had a kind of form. But it's more simple. You don't have to make it complicated. You have the hop, as you can have it in the language as well. The hop is nothing more than the hopping. The hopping is you go into the air. You have to make a jump in the air. We say hop, hop, hop if we want the things more quickly, to have it more optimal, to have it more vivid in the end. The question mark that you have there of the hop is also you're bringing air, you're bringing more oxygen. That's what the plant hop actually also does. It brings in oxygen, it brings in everything, so that what can develop in this space is developing vividly, without interference, without that there's oxidation, there's viruses, there are bacteria. No, everything will become vivid. This is the process that gets the optimal out of what is in a vivid process of the plant. You can see it immediately. The bird, that's another thing. You can hardly recognize what it is in it, except maybe how it looks like. It is, you can see the head is a bit popping out. There's a whole feathers there that are also popping out, a little bit airy as well. So it is still there, but I don't understand how it really would fit as. It's not. Can it be the best match? I don't see it as a match, and that was confusing for me from the beginning. Hop is also more like a simplification of this bird's origin of the name. In English it's hopoo, which is much more fitting with it. Where does it come from? The hop, it's coming from the sound of the bird, which is more like the hopoo sound than the hop. So it is again confusing. Nobody that uses the word hop will immediately remind us that this is a reference to the sound. So no, there is indeed a reference that is blurred a little bit there, but it makes itself with this sound it can make itself visible, noticeable in its space. That is true. It is maybe good for the bird, but it's not really a 100% match. Will it always be? Maybe I missed something as well. I don't know. But for the large part, from what a hop is, you can recognize in the letters certain features that are actually very clear with the plant, less clear with the bird. I don't mind. I'm just investigating. I'm not looking for it stronger than I need to. There is something in the letter combinations of these three simple letters that you can read from the meaning of the letters and in the letter combination. That's what I did. Is it 100% clear for the bird? No. Is it clear for the plant? Yes, I think so. Maybe you think about it differently, but I recognize it. There are different layers as well. But what I will not express these layers yet. But from this viewpoint, I'm working on this viewpoint of putting the words in the order, so that and in an order of this scheme, and try to recognize as quickly as possible where the word lies in terms of a reference point in time and space, how we see it, how we use it. Yes, then this aspect is already quite visible with the hop plant. Anyhow, this was an extra demonstration in addition to the book The Development of the Word or Sound Inform Volume 1, which is also part of Sound Inform the Complete Study. And the separate books, Volume 1 and 2, are also have some extra pages. They are available in the United States at Trafford Publication, but you have some distribution channels elsewhere as well. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This was Gerald Johan van Waas. There's a website too, as you can see. There's a YouTube channel too, which you just discovered or are watching right now. You can subscribe to it if you want to hear more or watch more for more instructions, more examples, more demonstrations. Thanks again. Bye-bye.